Hi, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of the New Day with Natalie podcast. This is episode 35, where we are going to be talking about how to survive a breakup with an avoidantly attached person. Because as you probably already know, if you've been dumped, it's a painful experience to be dumped by an avoidantly attached person. It's not like your other breakups, okay? Especially because avoidantly attached people, when they break up with you, they don't say, I want to break up with you. No. What they say is something along the lines of, I can't be what you need. I'm just too busy and I feel guilty not giving you the time that you deserve. I just don't think we should talk anymore. I don't treat you how you deserve. I just can't give you what you want right now. And you just deserve someone that can give you those things. It's not me. I just lost feelings. You deserve better. And my favorite, it's not you, it's me. Or they might just say, I need to work on myself. Okay, so if you got any of those text messages, which I have to say, it's very, very, very common for an avoidantly attached person to break up with you via text. It's not a phone call, it's not a FaceTime, it's not a face-to-face interaction. No, it doesn't matter how many years you were together. It's common for an avoidantly attached person to send you a quick text message and then end the relationship just like that. It's almost like they want to get it over with as fast as possible. And so sending a text is virtually zero effort and almost instant. Avoidantly attached people are almost avoiding clarity, avoiding working through the challenges that they might experience in the relationship or the challenges that both of you guys are experiencing in the relationship. And instead of coming together and working things through, what they do is just exit the relationship, end it so that they don't have to talk about their problems, so that you guys don't have any further conflicts. Because if you're not together, there's no need to solve a conflict, which means they're free. They have just escaped something that they did not want to experience. At the end of the day, you're left all alone, having to piece together your heart and having to find the strength to move on and also find the clarity of what just happened. This was the person I was going to spend my life with, and they were the ones that planted these seeds in my mind of, I can't wait for us to get married. I can't wait for us to move in together. I can't wait for us to get the dog, all the things. I can't wait for you to meet my mom. I can't wait for you to see my childhood home. Whatever they told you, whatever promise they told you, you took it for real. And you put that in your pocket and you're like, okay, this is my person. I can now just relax and live my life because I've got my partner. I'm going to get married to this person. It's going to be great. Some of you guys married that person and now you're going through a divorce because you got the same text message or you got a very informal conversation of, I just don't feel anything anymore. That in itself is incredibly painful. A breakup in general is painful, but a breakup with an avoidantly attached person is 100 times more painful. Emotionally, physically, all the things. Let's first understand why avoidantly attached people turn to sending you a text message to break up with you. And the reason it's so common for them to send that text message is because, as you might have guessed it, avoidantly attached people struggle with vulnerability. They struggle with being open and sharing their feelings. And so a breakup requires you to say, listen, I feel this way about our relationship, and I think we should take this step because I feel this way. Not only are they sharing their emotions, but they're also being like they're confronting you. You're having a very serious conversation and almost solving the conflict by exiting and ending the relationship. So all of that is uncomfortable for an avoidantly attached person. It's something that they don't want to do. That's why sometimes they just pray to God that you will be sick of their behavior and you will be the one to end the relationship. They want you to be the bad guy. But if you don't end the relationship because you've become a people pleaser, because you struggle with anxious attachment, they're in for a ride and so are you. It's like two people in a relationship that are driving each other insane, yet no one wants to end the relationship because that's too scary to have a conversation, to lose each other, to be alone, to go off into the unknown. That might be more comfortable for an avoidant just being by themselves, but the unknown, that's scary. That's typically why avoidants come back, because you're familiar, you're known, you're someone they felt safe with, so they want that back again. Basically, a breakup requires an avoidant to be emotional, to be honest, to be vulnerable, to express how they feel. And all of these things are things that avoidantly attached people are not comfortable with. So that's why breakups are very awkward for avoidantly attached people. So it's a lot easier to not look at you face to face and tell you what they feel and the reason why they want to break up and what they want to do next. Instead, sending a quick text message is a lot easier. Okay, that's why it's so common. You might wonder, like, why don't they just say, I'm breaking up with you? Why do they have to like walk all around the subject at hand and make you guess? And the reason is somewhat straightforward. In order to say to someone, it's over, you have to be empathetic and you have to be fully present in the relationship. And the thing is, avoidantly attached people at the point of the breakup are physically in the relationship, but they're emotionally gone. They emotionally let go a long time ago. They disengaged. They are like, this is too much for me. So for them to feel safe, they've emotionally let go. That's why they distance themselves. That's why you felt like their cold behavior was starting to get worse and worse and worse. It's because they've emotionally let go more and more and more. But they're physically in a relationship with you. Like, you guys hang out, you guys talk. So they're physically there. But now at the point of this breakup, they're actually ending this thing so that they can physically be out. But for them to tell you, like, it's over, I'm so sorry, like, I don't know what to tell you, like, I can't do it anymore. Like, to say all those things and, like, be empathetic and feel bad for you, but also, like, mourn the loss of this relationship, they have to be emotionally in the relationship, but they're not. They haven't been for a long time. So to say those words is challenging. It also can feel like they are a failure because avoidantly attached people have this voice in their head that's telling them that, look, you just ended another relationship. You're just not the relationship type. Why do you even think you would make it work with this person? And while they're dating you, the voice in their head is saying, don't share too much. They're going to hurt you. Don't get too close. They're going to hurt you. And so it's like they want to be close. They want to connect. Yet whenever they get too close, the voices in their head tell them to back off. It's basically their self-protection working autonomously, okay? And then when the breakup happens, they don't feel anything. It's almost like robotic. Like, this breakup is happening, but it doesn't feel real. So here's the thing. Avoidantly attached people turn to sending a text message, or even worse, like getting a DM on Instagram saying, like, you know, I just can't be what you want me to be, or whatever they told you. The reason they might do that is because looking at you face to face and being emotional, being vulnerable, and also confronting you, all those things are uncomfortable. So it's a lot easier to hide behind your phone and send a message where they are safe in their own environment, in their own home, with their dog in their hand, sending you a message, and then being done with it. I'll tell you my personal story. This might make you feel like you're not alone. So I was with this guy who was avoidantly attached. We were dating. It was like a situationship, I swear. And it was a roller coaster, that's for sure. And I remember we went on a trip together. And then after that trip, came back home. We didn't talk at all for like 2 weeks. Like, it was really weird, super dry conversation. Like, I remember I was trying so hard just to talk to him. I wanted to see him, but he kept like pushing things off. And then he planned a brunch for us on like a Sunday or Saturday. And I remember thinking like, oh great, he is taking an initiative. He wants to see me. He wants to take me out for brunch. Like, this is so great. Everything's going back to the way that it was. And I remember feeling like my life is okay again. Like, that is so dangerous to think that way. That one person has the power to completely dictate how you feel and how you feel about your life and the way you see yourself and all the things. It's so not healthy. I remember going to the brunch with him, and the conversation was really off. Like, he seemed like he didn't want to be there. And I remember him asking me specifically, when was the last time you saw your family? And I was just like, I don't know, like last weekend or something. Like, I went home to visit them, and he's like, okay. And then I remember he went to the bathroom like right when our food came, which was weird. And he was gone for a long time. And then when he came back, he like scarfed down his food, and then we left. And like the conversation was so weird. And then he drops me off at home. And he's like, hey, we've got to talk. And that's when I was like, what? Like, if anyone says to you, we need to talk, it usually means it's a breakup conversation. And so I did not see that coming at all. I was like, what? And it's ironic because I've been with avoidantly attached people in the past, but this one was like the one that really locked me in and took me for a spin. Okay. And like, I met his family, we traveled and like all the things. And so I was like, okay. And like, I immediately snapped to this people pleaser version of me that was like, I want to get out of here. Like, I felt like the avoidant in that situation. I wanted to get out of the car. I wanted to fly away. I didn't want to have the conversation. And I just stood there and I'm like, okay. And then he basically walked all around the topic. And honestly, I like basically blacked out. I don't even know exactly what he said besides one line that I'll never forget. He's like, my P1 is not you. And I was like, what the fuck is a P1? And I realized later, priority one is not me. And so I was like, okay, well, at least he's being honest. But like, this is such a weird way of saying that. Like, okay, because definitely he was my priority. At that point in time, I was super anxious. He was my number one priority. I wanted him to accept me and want me and desire me. And I wanted his approval. I wanted his reassurance. I wanted everything from him. And so I was like, okay. And then he basically said like, you know, he's working on the business and it's just too much right now. And he talked to his dad and like, he just doesn't know how he's going to do this relationship too. So I hope I understand, like something like that. I definitely blacked out. I had no idea what he said. And then I just said, thanks for letting me know. I got out of the car and I did not want to see him again. Like, I was just like, okay, great. My entire life that I thought was going to happen is now not going to happen. And I have to start over from square one, start dating again. But how? Like, this was the person I thought I was going to be with forever. And maybe I just like misunderstood the entire relationship. But I mean, I definitely did. But in that moment, like that version of me was so hurt, so shocked, so like lost for words. And I remember I went back into my apartment and the first thing I did was try to remove everything from my apartment that was his or that would remind me of him. So I remember I bought a bunch of like Coca-Cola, and it was Diet Coke. I bought a bunch of Diet Coke and like candy because I knew that's what he liked. And so I had it at my apartment so I could like bait him into coming over and like spending time with me. Like, oh my God, I was in so deep. And I remember opening the fridge and basically twisting off the Coke and like pouring it into the sink to like get rid of it. And it exploded. Like, I don't know what was going on, if like someone shook it or what, but it exploded all over my kitchen. And I am wearing like all white. And I'm like, great. So now I'm covered in sticky Diet Coke and I am laying on my kitchen floor in a pool of Diet Coke, crying my eyes out, wondering, why do I deserve this? How did this just happen? Is this real? I was in complete shock, and that's definitely like the first stage of grief. And it was one of the most emotional things for me. I was feeling all sorts of things. But this was the aftermath of that breakup. So yes, I got a formal face-to-face breakup, and to be fair, he did tell me he wanted to do it face-to-face because I told him in the past I've been dumped over text and it hurt really badly. And so he didn't want to do that to me, which was very kind of him. But the damage he did to my heart is almost like not something I can forgive him for. But at the same time, he taught me a wonderful lesson. And so I don't know, at this point in time, I'm happy it happened. But in that moment, I was not happy. Okay, so in the aftermath, I remember like just being in my kitchen, like wondering, what do I do next? And I remember he sent me another text. And in this text was a long paragraph. And he's like, I just want to recap what I said because I'm not sure if you heard everything that I said because it's kind of shocking. Something along the lines of that. I don't know exactly what he said because I deleted the message. That's also what you should do if you're going through a breakup to heal. But it was something like just like that. And it was a long paragraph. And I remember reading it, just crying. And I was like, he knew me so well because I didn't hear a word he said in the car when he broke up with me. But reading that text over made me feel like, okay, now I understand his points and I get it. But to this day, to send a message like that, I would probably be like, what the fuck? But in that moment, I was grateful for it. But that just it just proves my first point of this video. Avoidantly attached people enjoy breaking up with you over text, or like choose to break up with you over text, because it's easier to be vulnerable behind your phone. It's easier to type up a message and share how you feel and not have to look at the person in the eyes, okay? So when he sent me that text message, he opened up even more than he did when we were talking face to face. And honestly, looking back, I think he was trying to break up with me during brunch, but he got too nervous, went to the bathroom, didn't have the courage when he came back, and then had to do it right before he dropped me off. So that's the thing, like, it's not an easy thing either, like breaking up with someone, hurting someone's heart, like, it's not easy. But for avoidantly attached people, it's a lot more challenging than it is for a secure person or an anxious person to break up, okay? It hurts. It hurts a lot to be dumped by an avoidantly attached person, okay? And I think it hurts for 3 reasons. 1, you've invested in the relationship for either months or years, and invested either like financially or emotionally or physically in the relationship, and it feels like you're just throwing all of that away. 2nd, it seemed like they were emotionally available and then they just weren't, and it feels like you're stupid for being in that relationship with them when you're not. It was a learning lesson, and I think anyone would have fell for that if they were in your position. And number 3, avoidantly attached people lack closure and honesty. So when the breakup happens, you still don't know the true reason why they broke up with you, and you're hungry for some sort of closure. And that's why you keep thinking about them. It's like, well, maybe if I come back, or like you create this story in your head, like that's the reason why they just broke up, is because they got too scared, and I have to come back and reach out so that they know that it's okay and we can go slow this time. And like you create this fantasy in your head of why they did XYZ or what they're feeling today or whatever. And then that is the only thing that's keeping you alive. That's the thing that's bringing you reassurance. And then you're still hungry for closure. That's why most people don't get over their avoidant ex for years. You start doubting yourself and doubting your own reality. It's like, are we dating? Well, they're watching my story, or they're reaching out to me still, or are we still kind of talking? And so it makes you feel like we are together, but then you're not together because you're not. And then you're watching my videos and understanding like, well, they have an avoidant attachment style, but I guess I can change them and then we'll make it work. Or if I change myself, then we can make it work. And then it's like, what is real anymore? Your relationships that you have in your life shouldn't be that complex and just uncomfortable to be in. Does that make sense? And sometimes you don't see that until you step away from the breakup, or like what I'm actually saying is until years go by and you look back and realize, okay, now I get why that happened. Does that make sense? The best way to survive a breakup with an avoidantly attached person is to realize that this is temporary, okay? The pain that you're experiencing, it sucks, it hurts. There's gonna be a lot of roller coasters, but if you know that's what you're gonna go through and you know there's gonna be an end to it, it kind of brings you some peace, okay? Another thing you could do to survive this breakup, like I said, is remove all of the items in your apartment or house that remind you of your avoidant partner. If they gave you stuff, or if they left stuff at your place, put it in a box, ship it, send it to them, or in the trash can. You're done with it, okay? All the love letters you want to send to them, don't send it to them. I would recommend writing it on a piece of paper, ripping it apart, and then never seeing it again, okay? Let your emotions out. Don't stop yourself from feeling things. If you stop yourself from feeling things, you're basically becoming an avoidantly attached person, where you just push everything down and you numb all emotions, which isn't good because it will come back up at some point, okay? It's like shaking a Diet Coke. You're gonna burst at some point, all right? I also would recommend trying to either mute or just unfollow your now ex on social media. This will help you tremendously to heal in the virtual world, because your mind will go off and think crazy things if they watch your story or they're liking your post. And honestly, you don't need that. If you're just not on social media, that will help you a lot. I remember at one point I had to just remove Instagram from my phone, and that helped me so much because I was only posting stories for him, which is a stupid way to live and a stupid way to use the app. And honestly, you don't need Instagram, okay? I also would recommend stop stop listening to the songs that your avoidant ex gave to you, or like your songs, or the song that you remember listening to when you were in the car driving to that one restaurant on like that perfect day. Don't listen to those songs. Don't make yourself cry. Just turn on podcasts, listen to audiobooks, listen to my book on audio. I actually just uploaded that to Amazon, so go check that out. Spend your time doing other things. When you don't listen to the music that your ex gave you, you won't jog your memory back to that time when you were really sad. The more you can move away from the breakup and stop thinking about it, the better off you'll be, obviously. And then last, find your own closure. And that can be different for everyone. If your closure is like reaching out and being like, I love you and all these things and I want you to know all that. Okay, what are you going to feel after you send that? Like shit? Okay, then don't send that message, okay? Closure sometimes happens on a personal level where it's like you against yourself. I found closure by allowing time to pass and realizing he wasn't the one for me, and I was thankful for the situation. It was a mindset shift. It's different for everyone, okay? If you want to learn more about how to let go of your avoidant ex, by the way, I did write an entire book on this, okay? That's what I was just referring to, how to get over your avoidant ex and become securely attached. I talk all about survival tips as well in that book, and also how to be more secure. In closing, just know if this has happened to you, you're not crazy. What you're feeling is normal, and it's not easy, okay? You're not broken. You're gonna be put back together, and you are gonna put yourself back together, believe it or not. And finally, you didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing that you could have done differently in the relationship to not allow this to happen, okay? Everything happens for a reason. You did nothing wrong, and you're gonna move on to the next chapter of your life, and it's gonna be okay. Trust me, I've been through the same exact thing as you, and I am alive and happier than I've ever been in my life, and in a healthy, happy relationship. Avoidantly attached people cannot offer you secure love without doing the inner work themselves. So until they turn inward and they become aware of their faults and understand that it's okay, they can work on themselves and become more secure, just like you can as well. Until that moment, they can't give you the love that you do deserve. And that's why they say those words when they break up with you. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to feel shattered. It's okay to feel like your world is turned upside down and everything bad is happening to you. But don't allow that emotion to last for weeks or months or years. Give yourself a couple of days, or give yourself 1 week if you want to be in your sad era, just like, oh, bad things happen to me, whatever you want. But then after the week is over, move on. Try your best. Like, create a new life for yourself. Become the best version of you. Like, this is your opportunity. I always use breakups as fuel to turn myself into the person I've always wanted to be, or to like catapult into the next chapter of life. So figure out what that means for you. But at the end of the day, like, you will rebuild. You're broken now, but you will rebuild, okay? You will become a new version of you that's stronger, more aware, and ready to date again in the future. I guarantee it. That is it for this episode, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a very specific relationship breakup story or situation that you would like to share with me, and you want my opinion on your situation, feel free to sign up for a one-on-one video call with me. We will talk on Zoom for about 30 minutes, and you will get all the advice and guidance that you need. If you're interested in that, sign up for a call down below using that link. Also, I wrote a book, How to Get Over Your Avoidant Ex and Become Securely Attached. It is on Amazon. It's also available in the audio format as well, and ebook. So I have all the different formats for you guys. Choose the one that works best for you. But that is it for today's episode, you guys. I will see you in the next one. Mwah, mwah. Goodbye. Peace out.